My online book launch, Believers Rise and Awake, was was conducted so beautifully and ended with so much of satisfaction. Post thought, it took me back to the year 2006. It was a time when my first book was about to publish and I was writing small time. And what was the great lesson? An unknown sculptor gave it to me, and that's how my writing became so uh, prominent, and it became my passion. I learned the greatest lesson from that old man. Today I'm going to share my personal experience with him, a lesson from Dev Da. As I said, it was year 2006 when I had to stay in a place called Dhubri in Assam for some time, and it's quite a remote border town with very few amenities. And I was writing my about to finish my first book in Guwahati. See, I was writing in bits and pieces, and so I was not comfortable with it. I was a bit confused. Why I'm not able to focus on the job I've just started. Many people had already praised my bits and the small time bits and pieces of the small time literary pieces. Some of them even I liked myself, but deep down in me, I felt I could do better. Though I could not deter uh, more. Where lay the fault? And that's a time. There's a great man, Dev Da. He taught me one of the greatest lessons of life. There was a common friend of mine, resident of Thubri. I used to go for a walk in the evenings with him. And he used to see me writing all the time, turning pages, referring books. He thought that I'm a creative person, so he just mentioned Dev Da, an old sculptor in Dhubri. He is a very creative person, respected by everybody. He is famous for making Durga statues in the area. And this friend of mine had lots of regard and praises for Dev Da. And as I could understand, why this person is revered so much. Let me at least go and meet him once. And I thought my friend, he admires Dev Da so much, that means he must be having some unique or great quality. That's why he's insisting so much. Anyway, I decided that I must meet him and see for myself what is the thought my friend admires Dev Da so much. We walked in he took me straight to his place. You see, and before I went, my friend also presented me a very small sculpture made by Dev Da. I was so impressed, and I could not utter a word. It was so beautiful. And I then instantly decided to go and meet him. When we got down and enter his workshop, so Dev Da was busy making one statue. We wished him. He didn't even look back, no reply, and he continued working. So engrossed in making this statue, he didn't bother to look towards us, and continued his work. I felt as though we were an intruder, unwanted intruder actually. But as always happened, the great men are the kindest. As we were about to leave, and Dev Da suddenly turned to us and said, I imagine that you would like to see one of my sculptures or statues which I make. He said, I'm afraid, sir, that I have hardly anything here. But you do one thing. You come and have dinner tomorrow with me in my residence. Yes, we accepted the invitation. There's nothing much to do. Next day, when we went to his residence, Devda's that country house, we sat down on a small table to a homely meal. And soon the encouraging gaze of his soft eyes and simplicity of the man himself, it cured my embarrassment. In his small house, he had a studio sort of thing, a primitive structure with great windows, big windows, and where there are plenty of finished statues and hundreds of parts of those statues, knuckles, he had an arm somewhere, a hand lying, something somewhere only a finger, and of the various parts of these statues, scattered, abandoned here and there. The place spoke of a lifetime of restless working and the labor of Devda. Devda put on a linen smack and thereby seemed transformed into a workman. He paused before a pedestal and he says, "This is my latest work, you see." Removing the wet clothes and revealing the female torso in a clay. Ultimately, it will turn out a Durga's statue. He said, "It's quite finished, I think, you see." He took a step backward and heavily built, broad-shouldered old man, faded grey beard, to take a good look at his own statue which he had made and he was showing to us. And looking, he says, "Yes, I think it is finished." But after a moment of scrutiny, he murmured, just there on the shoulder, "The line is still too hard. Excuse me, please." And he picked up the scalpel. The wood passed lightly over the soft clay and gave the flesh a more delicate sheen. His strong hands awakened to life. His eyes kindled. And there is, see the difference. Again he changed something. He stepped back. Then he turned the pedestal, muttering strange throaty noises in Bengali. He was saying something. They've got a very unique dialect in Dhubri. Assamese dialect, not Bengali. Now his eyes lightened with pleasure. Now his brows knit in vexation. He needed bits of clay, added them to the figure, scraped some of it again. And we were just watching. This went on for half an hour, and he never once addressed a word to us. He just got across it. He was oblivious to everything but the vision of the sublimer from the wish to create. He was alone in this world, like God on the first day of the creation, something like that. At last, with a sigh of relief, he threw down his scalpel and wrapped the wet clothes around the torso with the tender solicitude of a man's placing a shawl around the shoulder of his beloved creation. Then he turned to go. Once more, the heavily built old man. Just before he reached the door, he caught sight of us. He said, only then he did remember that he was visibly shocked at his discovery that we were also there. He had almost forgotten. He said, "Pardon, sir, pardon. I had quite forgotten that you were here for dinner." But I took his hand and pressed it gratefully. Perhaps, perhaps he had an inkling of what I left. He smiled and put his arm around my shoulder. I learned more that afternoon, my friend, that evening, sorry, than in all my years of writing and learning and reading and meeting people. For ever since then I have known how all human work must be done if it is to be good and worthwhile. The lesson I learned from Devta. And that is nothing has ever so moved me as this realization that the man could so utterly forget time and place and the world. In that hour, I grasped the secret of all art and of earthly achievements, and that is called concentration, my friend. Focusing at the point of action, focusing all your energies, all your thinking on whatever you are doing, and forgetting the rest. Or small, irrespective. The capacity to direct one's will upon one thing, that's the lesson Devda gave it to me. I was blessed. I was so happy. I realized that when it was I had hitherto lacked in my own work, that fervor which enables a man to forget all else but the will to perfection. A man must be capable of losing himself utterly in his task. There is, I knew it now, no other magic formula. I learned the effect of concentrating and the method of concentrating, and I did it. And I completed the book, and there's no turning back after that. I really want to thank that old man who gave me the finest lesson of concentration. And here we are. Thank you very much.